Business comes first. How are you guys doing this morning? It's a Whoooo Saaaaaaa moment. I know you guys don't know what that means, but you're about to find out. It is a Whoooo Saaaaaaa moment. Let me make sure I get on here so I can see who's here from, um, there we go. But I wonder if Whoooo Saaaaaaa is supposed to be W-O. Maybe there's not supposed to be an H in there. Maybe there's not supposed to be an H in the Whoooo Saaaaaaa. Good morning, Facebook user. Good morning. Let me see who that is. Good morning. Alicia, good morning. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Pam. Good morning, Erica. Good morning, Rose. Good morning, Elaine. Good morning, everyone. We got a Whoooo Saaaaaaa. And then I opened up Sully's, good morning, Pam. Thank you for putting your name in there. I opened up Sully's COVID-19 virtual workout post, and she has that I just want to laugh for a second because I'm looking at my reflection. It looks like I have cleavage, and I'm like, oh, look, I look like I got boobs. Hola, bonjour, Sully. Kia ora, Sully. Faking the funk with my acting like I got some cleavage. That's just dark shading. Anyway, okay. I looked at Sully's page and it said something about when you try to dim someone else's light, you only dim your own. So you're talking about people, you make yourself look bad. So what I really like is how I wake up and I really have nothing to talk about. I mean, I don't have nothing to talk about. I say that, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about. And then my sister called me this morning and I start talking to her and I'm in the middle of a conversation with her and I'm like, you know what? I need to call my coworker. I need to reach out to my coworker because I feel like there's tension between me and my coworker. I'm not going to go through all of the details because we're on the social media thing and it doesn't need to be out there. But what is really good is that I woke up this morning and I felt like I could let it lie and I could let the tension be there. Or I could act like a grown-up, a professional, and I could reach out. But I have to do it carefully. So I called my coworker. I was like, Charmin, let me get off the phone with you. Let me call my coworker. And she's like, oh, because you want to talk about it on tea time. And that was not the intention, but now here we are. So it was on my mind to do it. When it's on your mind, on your heart to do it, I don't care who you want to believe is the person telling you to do it. Maybe you feel like that's God telling you to take these steps. Take the steps. Maybe you feel like it's your subconscious telling you to take the steps. Take the steps. Maybe you feel like it's your own inner mind intelligence to telling you to take the steps. Take the steps. Whatever it is, when it's on you, on your mind to take the steps, take the steps. Whatever those steps are, even when you don't want to, take the steps. When it's Kaya tea time telling you to take the steps, take the dang steps. Even when you don't want to. Even when you don't want to, because you'll feel better in the end. And if you don't feel better, it's okay, you'll be better. Even if you don't feel the better, you will actually be better. So I reached out to my coworker and I'm like, hey, so how are you? I cannot help but feel that there is tension between the two of us. And I want to put that conversation out on the table right now. Is there tension? She says, yes, a little. All right, well, let's talk about why. Good morning, Nancy. Good morning. Rose, say hi to Nancy Collier. Rose is on YouTube, Nancy. That's why you don't see her. But Rose, say hi to Nancy. We all went to school together. She said, yeah, a little. All right, well, why? Well, Kai, because I'm like, yes, but do you understand that as equally frustrated as you are, I am? Let's not take our frustrations out on each other. Rose said, hey, Nancy. Right, put her on Front Street, but in a very loving way. Girl, life. Nancy, you're here now. That's all that matters, honey. That's all that matters. We don't all come to the table all the time, but we check in every now and again. And that's what's important. I mean, well, I'm here all the time. Suli, when she ain't out there running them streets, she's here all the time. Rose, Nancy says hi. So we had an hour-long conversation. Just talking things out. Just listen, this is what you're going through. I understand. But do you understand that when you ask me this question, you're saying it's in the file, and I'm saying it's not in the file. No, I'm saying what you asked me for is in the file. And she's saying, no, it's not in the file. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on my end looking like, look, there it is. Damn it, there it is. And she's on her end talking about, it ain't here. I don't see it. It's not here. Well, we were both speaking a different language. She was using this name of a document to represent a particular type of document, and I was using that name to represent a different type of document. Both correct, but just my history has applied that word only to this type. So when you're asking me, where is that? I'm saying it's there. But the type that it applied to for her was not there. It took us 3 or 4 emails back and forth, and both of us pissed off at the end because she's talking about, it's not there. I don't see, you know what? Well, forget it. I'm just not going to do it. And I'm like, look, it's there. And I'm calling her boss, my boss, like, look, get your chick, because I'm irritated now because she keeps asking me for the same damn thing I already sent her. Well, it wasn't the same thing. I'm telling her this. Look, I own it. I was like, yeah, girl, I was pissed. Because you asking me for the same thing that's sitting there, and I'm trying to figure out, well, did I not give her the right link? Because it's here. We had a good conversation. And at the end of it, we agreed that from now on, if it takes 2 emails back and forth, pick up the phone. Because if we were in the office, after the first email, she would have walked over to my desk and said, hey, Kai, it's not here. And I would have been like, no, let me pull it up. Hell, here it is right here. And she would have been like, oh, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm like, oh, well, what are you talking about? Oh, I mean this. Oh, okay, well, yeah, that's not there. Sorry, let me get that for you. I forgot all about that. That's how it would have happened if we were in the office. Or I would have said it's there. Or when she said it's not there, I would have gotten up. I wouldn't have, because I don't do the email back and forth when we're in the office. I do the walk back and forth between your office and mine, or your cubicle and mine. I mean, whatever the space and setup is. I do the walk back and forth. I don't communicate by email with people that are sitting 200 feet away from me. So she would have emailed me and said, Kai, it's not in there. And I would have walked over to her desk and said, yeah, it's there. Pull it up. Let me show you. I would have showed her what I was talking about, and she would have said, yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. And then I would have been like, oh, okay. So what we realized, communication is the key. I gave her a call. Should have been made the first time, right? Stuff always gets lost in translation. Exactly. Solves everything. No misunderstanding or feelings are hurt. Exactly, Pam. Exactly. Let's get up. Let's talk about it. I gave her the opportunity to put it all out on the table. Put it out on the table. Now, it's come to me through the grapevine that she don't like me. Okay, well, you don't have to like me. But we do have to work together. And the reason you don't like me is not even justified. But if you don't like me, you don't have to like me. But I do need you to work with me, because that's what we need to do. So I addressed her reason for not liking me, because she wouldn't put it out on the table. She wouldn't say what it was. I put it out there. I was like, let's just make this clear. I was hired to do this work, and I'm getting pushed back. I'm everybody's scapegoat for doing the work that I was hired to do. And that's not fair. So anytime you get upset about the changes that Kai is implementing, understand that before I took this job, I was asked to come in and implement changes. That's the only reason I took the job. Y'all know I like to be in control. I already had another job out here. I had already accepted another job at a different agency out here. And then I got this call, and I was told I was going to be in charge of shaping this department. You know, that's all you got to tell me. Can I get to come in and set the rules? Okay. Because I've worked in so many procurement departments where stuff is just so crazy and nobody's willing to make change, no matter how much change makes sense. So when I'm told you get to come in and set this up from scratch, I was like, ooh, I get to be the one deciding, helping to decide, helping to shape the practices and the processes of this department. That means we're going to get it set up right from the get-go. Yes, I will take that job. Now I get in there and I'm everybody's scapegoat because Kai coming in here making changes. That's what y'all hired me to do, man. Anyway, we left that conversation on a good note with the mutual understanding. And I'm telling you, y'all my tea time saviors, because I don't know if I would have had my big girl pants on this morning had I not had all this self-actualization happening at my tea time table for the past 5 months. I probably wouldn't have called that heifer. She's not a heifer. If she ever listens, she's not a heifer. You know, I throw that word around loosely. I would have never called her. I'd been like, she don't like me, whatever. Screw her. It ain't your business to like me. Do my work. But it would have been, you hear the different attitude though? You don't have to like me. I didn't come here for you to like me. All the while I'm like, why don't you like me? That's my fake the funk. You can say all day long you don't care if people don't like you, and then you wonder, why don't they like me? What did I ever do to her? If you ever say, what did I ever do to her? You actually care. What did I ever do to him? You actually care. If you did not care, you wouldn't be worrying about what you ever did to that person. And it brings me back to you, if you're like whatever Suli had posted on her page. I'm saying whatever because you know listen, you all know me at this point. I'm very intelligent, but I'm not remembering the details. I remember some details, but I'm not going to speak to you word for word what Suli's post said. I don't remember. And this is not age speaking. This is Kai speaking. Probably 10 years ago, I still would not have remembered because the exact words are not important. It's the sentiment that's important. If you try to dim someone else's light, you're only going to end up dimming your own. So when I have a coworker call and we talk about how somebody else doesn't like me, you just made yourself look bad. Why didn't you keep that to yourself? Why do you need to come tell me somebody else doesn't like me? What kind of shit are you trying to start? Hell, last week she didn't like you either. So last month she didn't like you either. She loved me 2 months ago. She doesn't like me today. What did I do this time? She's frustrated with, oh Lord, Pam has a photographic memory. Pam, no, I'm if I ever had to be envious of anybody, it would be people with photographic memories because y'all should have always gotten straight A's. Yes, I like that, Pam. I do care if people like me, however, it won't rule me. Those are people that can't communicate well. Yeah, I mean, you want to always be stirring up the shit. When you are talking about somebody else, first of all, how about you talk about yourself? If I try to fix and you don't want to reconcile, then I'm good. Yeah. So Pam, so let me go backwards. Pam, I reached out this morning because that's my big girl thing to do. That's my professional, big girl, be good with yourself, Kai, thing to do. If I didn't reach out, it would have continued to be on my mind to do it. And that would have caused me stress. Like, Kai, you should just reach out. Be like, why are you scared to say something? Don't be scared to say something to somebody. Call them out, ask them everything okay. But if I give you this opportunity to throw the shit on the table and let's clean it up together, and you don't take that opportunity, now I'm done. That's you. That's your issue. Check your own boundaries, get your own insecurities in place. You tell me I think I know my everything. Yeah, I know what I know. I also know what I don't know. Now I think I know a lot, but I also know there's a lot I don't know. Like I don't know what exactly the post was that Sulie had. I don't know the words. I do know that there was a post that touched me. I just don't remember the words. I know what I know. Yes, we ask for clarification. Have your say. After that, shut the F up. Right. And now we either walk away from that with a healing or an understanding. And I say or because with the healing, there is also understanding. But maybe all we walk away from is an understanding of why you don't like me, but we haven't healed. Or I can understand why, and we can have healed from it because we have clarified where there was miscommunication. Where you're sitting in your room pissed off, or your house, or your location, your office, whatever. You're sitting on your side of the world pissed off at something I've done, and I'm sitting on my side pissed off at something you've done, and really, in fact, neither one of us have done anything. I wasn't shooting an arrow at you trying to take you out. You weren't shooting an arrow at me trying to take me out. You answered my question. I answered your question. Those answers just didn't come together in such a beautiful way as to satisfy either one of us. So what do? Get rid of the confusion. Get rid of the miscommunication. Get rid of all that chaos in between. Walk up to your friend and say, hey, there's tension. What is this tension about? Should there still be tension? Do you equally care to get rid of the tension like I care to get rid of the tension? Often I don't care, but there are times I want to know because I might want to fix it. Then there are times I just don't care to fix it, like me or don't. Yeah, Karen, that's true. That's true. That's true. But in this situation where we have to work closely together on a regular basis, I would prefer to fix it. Elaine says your growth is impressive and important as to it speaks to your ability to allow yourself to be vulnerable. Now that is so beautiful. Oh, I know I'm beautiful, right, mommy? Yeah. I didn't come at her negatively. I used my tea time voice. I used my calming tea time. My calm tea time voice, right? My soothing tea time voice. Hey, so there's tension, right? Why is there this tension? Let's talk about it. If I care, I'll speak. I'm finding that I'm wanting to fix it more often as I'm getting older, but I'm wary of making connections that are messy in the first place. Right. Yes. If there's too much fixing going on from day one, no, let it go. Let it go. Like Elsa, right? Let it go. You don't have to fix it. You need to let it go. You need to understand that it's not for the fixing. It's for the letting go. You can get the fixing and the letting go. Some things you just got to let go. But when I have to work with somebody, I've been in environments in California, and it's so interesting. I had a girlfriend of mine call me from California, and she was talking to me about some stressful situation she was dealing with at work. And I was like, girl, I don't miss those days. I don't miss that California Asian mafia and white mafia that is in control of everything. That, as a Black woman, I was angry, I was aggressive, I was everything but heard, but understood in my predominantly white environment or my predominantly Asian environment. That California diversity is not the kind of diversity that I'm looking for. I'm looking for this East Coast diversity. Organizations that have diversity and inclusion departments because of the dysfunction and the racism and misogyny and everything else, sexism. Because of all of that, you have to create a diversity and inclusion department. I'm coming to understand that generally if you have a diversity and inclusion department, you probably had a problem. Unfortunately, you didn't proactively develop that department. You had a problem, and that was your answer. The problem is that's not the answer just to create the department, but not implement real change. You got to be willing. So I was listening to, trying to talk with a girlfriend of mine through what she was dealing with and helping her to decide what to do about it. And the first thing I said was like, hold on, back up. I know this is very serious what you're talking about, but I just want you to understand that I don't miss this about California. There's things I miss, but that is not one of them. And I woke up this morning and thought, you know what you appreciate about the place that you work is that it's not that you don't ever have disagreements, it's that you can speak about your disagreements frankly and then go back to working with each other with a renewed understanding of how to work with each other. This person that I reached out to today, we've had it out. We've had it out. When I first got there, she talked about, I do it this way. Well, this ain't your shit anymore. This is not your show. This is my show. So I tell you what, you do your procurements that way, but seeing as you don't have any procurements, I'm going to do my procurements this way, and I need you to follow suit on my procurements. And when you get your own procurements, you do them the way you want to do them. I was heated. I had just come fresh off the boat from California, and you're not about to talk to me this way. I dealt with that too much in California. I tell you what, I will go back to MDOT. Yeah, I know y'all don't know what MDOT is, but anyway, it was a previous job. I will go back there. They will love me to come back there. As a matter of fact, they want me coming back as a supervisor. Whew, I was too fresh off the boat. I haven't reached my actualization stage yet. I had not transformed. I went off. Janice, I went off and had to take a walk. You know I was hot. I was pacing the floor, and my coworker was like, you okay, Kyle? I'm like, no. As a matter of fact, let me go take a walk. You all right? Not today. This ain't about to happen today. But then 2 days later, we're back to working together. That's what I like. We can go. It's a bunch of type A personalities. That's what the problem is. Curious about how the men feel. Do you guys care? Just let it roll off your shoulders. Do you talk about it? Are the men at the table today? Have I seen Steve? And where is Stace? Anthony's not here today. I don't think there's any men at the table today. Steve, where you at? Stace? I don't see you. I'm going to have to put that out there for the men. I hate when you try to fix things and they won't even meet you. And they won't even meet you halfway. Instead, they feel justified to talk about you in a negative way. Yeah, sometimes that's the case too, right? You're doing the grown-up thing. You're doing the grown-up thing and you're bringing it to the table. And now they feel like they have some sort of power or control over you because you care so much that you can't. She came to me talking about what's wrong. You know. Does that not make you look bad for talking badly about somebody who comes to you seeking to repair the damage? But unfortunately, people don't see that makes them look bad. She came to me wanting to have a conversation. What's that about? She came wanting to have a conversation, and that's a bad thing? That's a bad thing that she came wanting to have a conversation? I ain't got time for her. I don't have time for this conversation. I don't care. Yes, you care. That's why you got that attitude. When you're talking about other people, you dim your own light more than you dim theirs. You make yourself look bad. There's somebody at the table. There's somebody that has pissed you off at this table. And I've done this before. At the beginning of tea time, there's somebody that you feel tension with that you have not spoken to about this tension. So today's challenge, if God can do it, you can too. Today's challenge is for you to think about, we've done this again. We've done this before, and we're going to do it again. Think about somebody you have tension with that you have not reached out to. It's not your place to resolve the tension on your own. But if you feel it is your place to speak up about it. It is your place, to speak up about the tension that you are feeling. What comes of it is not important in this challenge. It is only the challenge that you speak up peacefully about it. Hey, I feel that there's tension between the two of us. Let's talk about it. Or I'd like to talk about it. And if you're willing, I'd like to talk about it. Invite someone to the conversation. Figure out who you have tension with. Reach out to them and say, let's address this tension. Yeah, y'all in therapy today. Girl, you don't know it's therapy every day. Sometimes you got to homework with therapy. Sometimes you don't. It's my own therapy too. I tell you what, I would not have been at this table. I would not. Yes, Adrian. I know it's hard. I know your story, Adrian. Not all of it, I'm sure. I know your story and I know it's going to be hard for you. However, no, you can't hit them, Suli. You can't hit them. Now that I got that out, swing at them. Now that I got that out, can we talk about this tension? I know it's going to be hard for you, Adrian, but the responsibility is only for you to reach out because you feel the tension. It is not for you to solve the problem. And I don't want you to take on the emotional burden of trying to solve the problem. Only trying to express that you recognize there's tension. You don't want to leave that tension undealt with. And maybe, Adrian, if it's someone that you're reaching out to that there's a lot of tension, right? One conversation may not settle it, but one conversation may start the settling process. So that's all you're doing is reaching out to say, hey, I know there's a little bit of tension between us, and if you're open to a conversation, I'd like to talk about it. I'd like for us to together work to ease this tension. You're not taking the responsibility of fixing it. It is not your job. It's not your responsibility. It's not your fault that there is tension. There are two parties to the play or to the game, to the event, whatever. Think of something cute, and that's what I said. Think of something catchy. There's two people that's a part of this. It's not just you. You're not at the table creating tension with yourself. So you're not going to own it. And you're not going to accept that someone else places the blame on you. So you're going to use words like, I understand what you are saying, and how I feel is this. I hear you, and we're not going to say but, we're going to say, and can you hear me? Can you understand that when you said this, this is what I had to do. When you said this, this is what you meant. But in my history, this is what it means. She says, well, we had this conversation last week. Yeah, but when you had the conversation last week, it was about it in a different context, and it was very clear what you were talking about. But in this context, this is how this word always applies for me. So that's going to be the first thought that I go to. It's not going to be what you're saying over here. It's 20 years of adjusting that I have to make. And I'm sorry, it's a lot of adjusting in this place. And therefore, I'm going to mess up. And at the end of this whole, it's not even a mess up. She was not right and I was wrong. I was not right and she was wrong. We were both right. And had we been able to come together and share what we were talking about, yeah, we were both right. But we would have better understood each other. I would have understood what she needed. She was right. I was not wrong. But she was right, but I was still not wrong. I do have someone in mind, but every time I try, they feel the need to get angry. Tired of hearing if that's the way you feel, so you need to deal. Yeah, that ain't the person then, because this is not going to be, it's not that kind of party. That's not what we're doing, Karen. That person may be a let go situation. That person may be perfect for letting go, or for letting go right now and revisiting at a later time. You can still, if you want to, try again, but the moment it gets to be all put on you, that's the moment you check out of that conversation. Like, hey, I tried. This isn't working. So we'll try again another time, or maybe not. Good morning, Darlene. Good morning. At the end of our conversation, good morning, Derringer. At the end of our conversation, I thanked her for receiving my call. I thanked her for the conversation. She thanked me for reaching out to her. She appreciated that I reached out to her. She said, Kai, we're finding out that we're actually more alike than we are different. I was like, yeah, and that's scary, huh? So maybe we need to communicate better. I'm not 45 minutes, Rose, because I started late. So I'm getting off right now, but I'm on time. That's okay, Darlene. I was late too. I was on the cotton field. It was the cotton field in the plantation next door. I was on it too. But we ended the conversation with me saying, I'm sure I'm going to mess up in the future. And it is not directed at you. It is not an intentional slight to you. I'm sure that I'm going to reach out and ask you for information. When I'm asking you for this information, it's really just, or I'm going to not give you what you asked me for. It is not a slight to you. It may just be that I forgot. I will mess up again. And we laughed about that. Surely I'll mess up. In this particular case, it wasn't really a mess up, but just to end on a light note. We will have to have this conversation again. Sometimes it may be that you are at fault, even if by accident. Own your own responsibility in any situation. Well, we can explore that thought another time, Mom. I'm not accepting any fault for anything that I didn't intentionally do. Let me not say it that way. What I mean is that oftentimes, let me say it differently. What I mean is that oftentimes we can't move past a situation without placing blame. And this is what I'm saying. I don't want you to place blame on one person or another. It doesn't matter who's at fault. It doesn't matter who tripped first. Because if I tripped and then you tripped, we both tripped. So it doesn't matter who tripped first. And we are equally at fault because maybe I did something and your response did something. I did something to you and your response did something to me. So you are at fault for how you responded to what I did, and I'm at fault for what I did. You're both at fault. Neither one of you handled it the right way. If I do something to you and you don't let me know that it hurt you, you don't tell me how you received it. Hey, Kai, you just hit me and that hurts. Okay, then that's my fault. I hit you. It hurts. I'm sorry. But if I hit you and it hurts, you didn't tell me, and now you won't do something for me because last week I hit you and it hurt. Well, that's your fault. Yes, I hit you and it hurt, but you never said anything. So how did I know you were hurt? I didn't even know I hit you. Because, I'd just be swinging the bat and it could just hit anybody, right? I didn't know I hit you. I didn't know how it hit you. I didn't know that it hurt when it hit you. Maybe I was just playing. Maybe it was a love bat tap. So you're at fault for how you responded or didn't, how you didn't bring it to my attention, how it affected you. So I hear you, but what I'm saying is a lot of times we get caught up too much on placing blame. It's not your fault when the relationship falls apart. It's not his or her fault when the relationship falls apart. Don't accept the responsibility for playing both parts when you can only play your part. We all have to be able to speak up and to speak out. And when you can't, that's not my problem. That's your problem. Now, my problem is there's tension, but you should have spoken up. You should have said something. Anyway. But what you can't do, what you shouldn't do, is call your coworker and start talking about how so-and-so don't like you. That only makes you look bad. You're a shit starter. You are trying to dim her light and you're dimming your own damn light. And you think you possibly dimming my light too. No, you're dimming both of you all's lights, not mine. Because I'm a shine. And I was very clear. If this person doesn't like me, that's that person's problem. If this person thinks I think I know too much, that's that person's problem. It's not me. I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. And I'm always asking questions. So how could I possibly think I know everything when I'm always asking questions? Try not to hit people. You were not raised that way. Yes, I was. We had that conversation. Anyway, go swinging, man. Go swinging. All right, guys. Whoooo Saaaaaaa. Whoooo Saaaaaaa. I think what I put on the page was Whoooo Saaaaaaa, but whatever. You get what I'm saying. Reach out today or plan the reach out. It doesn't have to happen today. It would be great if it did. And if you do reach out today, post on the page, Kai, I did it. All you have to do is say, I did it. I did it. You don't have to say how it went. But if it went great, that's great. If it didn't go great, that happens. You can't be responsible for how somebody receives the reach out. You can only be responsible for reaching out. Reach out in a positive way. Hopefully they will receive it positively. If not, that's on them. It's not on you. I feel better. I feel better. And it won't be on my mind for the rest of the day. It'll be on my mind to pat myself on the back. I was a big girl today. And it was received well. And I appreciate her for receiving it. So, we got to get back to it, right? Anyway, guys, thank you for coming to the table. Thank you, Nancy, for being here today. Watching your grandbabies grow up and all the things that you're doing. That's fantastic. You guys continue to be safe. Derringer, thank you for coming back after you got in trouble at the table last time and you showed back up today. That's some strength, man. Oh, wait, Derringer is a man. Look, I forgot. I was like, no, there's no man at the table. Derringer's at the table? The hell? Derringer, you're supposed to be like, hey, wait, look at me. I am man. So before I get off of this feed, there was a question for the man at the table, Derringer. If you're still here paying attention, one of our colleagues at the table, one of our tea timer family, we're not colleagues, we're family. One of our tea time family asked, how do the men feel at the table? When something gets to you, do you care about it? There we go. This is the question. Do you just let it roll off your shoulders or do you talk about it? Derringer, are you still there? Can you answer that question for us real quick? Oh, there we go. Good. Can you answer that question? So when you curious about how the men feel, do you guys care or do you just let it roll off your shoulders? Do you talk about it? What do you do? And is it different whether it's between you and a male that there's tension or you and a female that there's tension? Would you address it with one of your boys or your coworkers or whatever? Would you address that tension or would you just let it roll off the shoulders like, I'm not going to deal with this? I'm waiting for your answer, Derringer. I hope I'm saying your name right. I think I am, because I think Rose would have corrected me if I wasn't. I haven't put the poll up for the dates for the paint party yet, but I will do that. I'll try to get to it today. When I get off of here, I get to work, and then sometimes I don't get back to getting on here to. Thank you, Rose. That boy is not paying attention. That man, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That man is not paying attention. He's like, I don't know. Don't put me on the spot. I ain't answering that question. I care, Kai. I care. Well, anyway, Pam, we don't have an answer to that question, but we're going to, he might be typing or something, but I need to get back to work. He might be watching while in there. Oh, okay. All right. So we're not going to worry about that. We're not going to, oh, there we go. I care and I try to talk about it. However, men are different. So everybody reacts differently to things. But I guess you're saying my name. Okay. Yeah. So he cares. I mean, I think men do care. I think maybe their approach might be different, but we're going to explore that some more because it's interesting to know the difference, right, Pam? To know how are we, we're supposed to be more emotional, but men care. They want to act like they don't sometimes, but they do care. It's just how do they manage it versus how do we manage it? And how do you manage it differently in a professional setting versus a personal familial setting? Anyway, we'll have to get so I'll have to check in on Stace and Steve. Steve is usually here, so I'm going to do a Steve check-in. Approaches are definitely different, yeah. So I'm going to do a Steve check-in. I will see you guys here tomorrow at the same time in the same place. And in the meantime, we're going to keep our hands clean. Yeah, we'll table that for thank you, Pam. We'll table that for another day when more of the men show up. Well, they're missing in action today. Derringer needs some backup at the table. Um, Wash your hands, wear your mask, and keep your distance. That's what you need to do to be safe. Thank you for joining me at the table today. Show gratitude every day, and that's what I'm doing with you. I'm showing my gratitude with you every single day. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing out. Thank you for contributing with your comments, your questions, your laugh, your love, your hearts, your thumbs up. Thank you for contributing. With all of that, I feel good today. I hope you feel good as well. Take your challenge. Take your challenge. You know, it doesn't have to be serious tension. It could be minor tension. Just reach out to somebody today that you haven't reached out to that maybe you felt a little bit of tension with. Even if that reach out is just, hey, I hope you're doing well. You don't even have to have a full-on conversation, but reach out. Have a great day. Wash your hands, wear your mask, keep your distance. And I'll see you here tomorrow.